Hi, and welcome to Soul Activation Podcast, a world-class broadcast of spiritual insight and inspiration with me, Suzanne Alexandria. In this series, we dive deep into the magical sea of you, to that place in you that's ready to activate, but might not even know what that means. Do you crave to be more spiritually connected? Intriguing, fun, and full of magic, we'll laugh and cry and talk about how crazy this life is, offering healing and insights to lean into. This show broadcasts from pure divine love. Are you ready to light your eternal flame to spark some magic? Let's talk transformation. Hi, friends, and good morning or afternoon or evening, wherever you are, coast to coast or somewhere in the world. I welcome you to Soul Activation Podcast with me, Suzanne Alexandria. And as in my introduction, what we talk about on this podcast is the depths under the sea of you. I have found in my life journey as a spiritually awakening soul and person that the magic and the mysteries happen under the sea. That's why the mermaid is one of my best kind of like charms or lucky charms, if you want to call it that. Because when we are vulnerable and willing to go deep, there is pure magic. And so today's podcast is about that as the context for a revolution within you. Now, I have experienced a myriad revolutions in my life, from work and being a mother, being married, then divorced, becoming a healer, coming out as that. And each time it's pushed me to the limits, frankly. And I'm not alone. I know you know what I mean by that. But when I work with people in my business who are awakening to their magical gifts, be that, awakening consciousness, awakening healing arts, awakening healing energy, intuition, psychic abilities, I swear it all pushes us to the limit. Sometimes it seems like it's going to be pushing us to the brink because it seems like an endless dig. And that's what I found that I felt like for many years during my transformative process. I lived and worked in Washington, D.C. for over 20 years. That's where I had my children, worked in the corporate world. And all the while, there was something pushing me, nudging me to investigate what else there was. I mean, I actually had a fairly good life there and a successful career in business with government contracting. And I was working at the end at the Health and Human Services building, which is right next to the U.S. Capitol, which was like I made it. But I always felt this underlying knowing that there was something missing or something more. And that can be so painful. So what this podcast is about with our angel guides, we're working with archangel energy and earth energy today, always as the divine feminine works with us. And I'm going to bring that energy in during a really beautiful guided meditation today. But what they are always showing me and you and us, if we listen, right? If we listen, that there is more. But so often it's like this pivoting of our framework from looking out there for it, banging on someone else's door, looking, out to other sources to know, what about down in here? What about in your sacred heart? What about in your gut? What about in you, that essence, your light, your eternal light? That's what I call it. Your eternal light, that's your soul, that's the spark, that's you, that so often has, for whatever reasons, and we got a million of those stories, it's been stifled. And I know that so well. So today is about the revolution. What about a revolution that happens in here? And the image of the French Revolution, we're going to show that at some point. You know, Marianne, the woman who fought the revolution, who's the emblem of the French Revolution. Her name is Marianne, and she's this emblem of, you know, freedom, of leading the people to freedom, of standing up for what was so not right in the outside world at the time of the French Revolution. And that is one of the best images, along with the Statue of Liberty, that we have in our world, in our culture, of like going for it and standing for yourself. Not only did the French Revolution stand for the rights of others, but it was such a time of coming into the self and saying, wait a minute, this structure out here, it's not working. People are starving. This is not fair. There's something wrong with it. And there was. People were dying of starvation during those decades of the whole revolution. Same thing still happening on the planet today in different areas of the world. So what do we do about that? And what I have found is that so often we can feel completely hopeless when we're still trying to get out there and get at it from, like, with a chisel out there, banging on the doors, even, you know, of the sacred halls of Congress or things like that. That seems so hard. And that's the way for some, but for many, for me, what I realized is how I'm going to influence a revolution of things that I want in my life and for my children and for other people. It all has to start right here. It has to start in my heart. It has to start with me saying, all right, I'm willing to get true, and I want to know the truth. I want to know what makes me wake up with extreme anxiety every day. I want to know why I can't seem to get this right. I want to know, like, why do I feel so disembodied? And that's such a common experience for so many of us. And the answer, you know, when in my work and when I go to spirit, when I seek guidance, and from the world's wisdom traditions, Kabbalah, Judaism, Christianity, Hinduism, it's all about, what do I need to look at right in here? And now I know this isn't new to any of you, but what I also am feeling from the spirit realm, from our guides, and what I'm getting time and time again, especially as we've come into this new 2021, and as we've also come into spring, depending on when you're listening to this or where you are, it's spring and it's a time of newness. And the sentiment very, very much is, it's time to plant seeds. It's time to think bigger. It's time to get real about not just digging about the problems, because we could spend an eternity doing that. And frankly, it's felt like I have done that. But we can also get real and start to plant seeds and use the momentum of our dreaming, of our focus on a future that we want, of our focus on, you know, what we want to see for ourselves. And that is exactly the nature of this show and the meditation. So if you find yourself in a place where you're wondering, what is next? I know there's something. This is a way to go about that. And now I work within the Akashic Records, and I'm really good at helping people dig into, find the history of what hasn't worked. And that is an incredibly important part of this. But what I also know is that we can do that while simultaneously being really forward focused, being focused on what is going to bring us what we really, really want. And do you even know? Do I even know what do I want? So if you're in a place where you can, I would encourage you to get some paper. We're going to do the meditation later, but there's an invitation here. This is going to be kind of like workshop style in a way, to let yourself open up a little bit and start to ask questions, maybe even in a new way, about what do I want? And let's even underline that. What do I really, really, really want? Would you dare to ask that in a new way on this day? Because I know you have New Year's resolutions. I know you've done it, but what if there's something you're missing? What if there's even more if you allow your heart to really drop all of its facades, all of its protection, just for a few moments and see what comes? What do I really, really want? And maybe even if you know, let that come in deeper. Let it start to sink in through you. Let it start to be what you are made of and the why that you wake up for. And what we're going to do is open to that field of limitless possibility and then invite the co-creation of spirit, because that's the only way I know to make it really, really, really powerful in our lives. To really boost. It's like a turbocharged engine giving you a boost into your next phase, your next chapter, your next generation, your next job, whatever it is. So there's a lot of revolution in that. What if you allow yourself to drop back and let go of baggage and even of an old way of focusing and look to the path that is perfect right now, that aligns you? And it's all about alignment. So that's one of the things that I specialize in with helping people, is to come into a place of focused alignment right in here. And when you're able to do that, then you're able to open. You're able to even open your eyes and see a little differently. You're able to feel. You're able to feel your intuition, your divine guidance, whatever it is. So before we take a break, we're going to take a break in a moment. Start to play with that idea, that question. What do I really, really, really want? And how can I open my heart? How can I open my heart? Now I'm going to help you with the heart opening through some meditation and spirit guidance. It's going to be you doing the work, but I'm going to guide. And we'll see what comes as we plant some seeds of a new revolution. I'm Suzanne Alexandria. If you want to learn more about me, my website is suzannealexandria.com. I teach Reiki, I teach Akashic Records, I coach people in their spiritual awakening process. I also teach business people who are creating spiritual businesses. So if any of that resonates, or if you're curious about one-on-one intuitive guidance, please visit my website at suzannealexandria.com. And when we come back, we'll have a little bit more on this topic in a beautiful guided meditation with spirit. Be right back.
I'm a big fan of yours, and of y'all's wisdom has been very valuable to me. I've been curious, kind of stuck and not sure which direction to go, and having the motivation, to do that as well. So thank you very much. It's a beautiful message. Thank you very much.
It is a beautiful message.
It's very comforting and a great reminder.
Can't get enough of Eye of Soul Radio? Join Psychic Medium Jamie every Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern on Transformation Talk Radio. Take a deeper look at the raw side of spirit. Nothing is off limits. Connect with lost loved ones and explore these vulnerable subjects with the compassionate guidance of Psychic Medium Jamie. You are not alone. Eye of Soul, Thursdays at 5 p.m. Pacific, only on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Tune into 3 Things I've Learned with Susan Dolce every first and third Tuesday of the month at noon Pacific, 3 o'clock Eastern on Transformation Talk Radio. Join Susan and her guests as they share the stories that shift our souls about radical transformations, courageous breakthroughs, and life lessons. 3 Things I've Learned with Susan Dolce. For more information, go to transformationtalkradio.com or visit Susan's website at susandolce.com.
It's time to get your life back on Burn Bright Today with Jennifer Marcinelli. Tune in each month on transformationtalkradio.com. Learn to move from the darkness of burning out to the light of burning bright. Jennifer is redefining stress and the energetic causes of burnout, shining a light on process to get your life back. For more information about Jennifer and her work, visit burnbrighttoday.com. Let's face it, you don't love your wrinkles. You probably work out, but you have been skipping face day. Join Colette Marie Steffen for daily face yoga. You'll learn to activate and train facial muscles and reverse the visible effects of aging. Forget about expensive procedures and products that don't work. Live virtual classes every day at 6 a.m. and 9 p.m. Pacific. Sign up for face yoga with Colette. Visit thetruthisfunny.com.
Hi, friends. Welcome back. I'm Suzanne Alexandria, and today we are talking, and actually not just talking, we're going to be doing some planting of your own seeds of inner revolution, because when you do the inner work, the revolution happens in the world around you in really magical ways. And I know this to be true because it is what I have done to transform my life from quite chaotic and lots of turmoil, we won't even go into that, into a place of creation, into a place of co-creation and really working with spirit. So the question is, if you're new to the podcast at this point, what do you want to plant in your own garden to bring in? What do you want to ask help for? And I'm going to be doing a beautiful guided meditation with spirit in the next segment. But first, we're going to talk about why. Why do we do this? And my why, we're all different, but people are kind of similar. We've spent so much time building up walls and building up facades that really aren't our true desires. They're not our true selves. They're not our true natures. So, there's lots of quotes out there about this. What we're looking for is already there. It's your eternal flame. It's your eternal light. But what's covering it is a myriad of stuff. I mean, it is karma. It's also things that have happened to us that have helped us shut down or caused us to shut down. It's what people have told us. It's everything that, in a sense, is not us. So what if you were able to take a further step and release that which is not you? And that's what so often the message is if you listen to channelings of Yeshua and Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary and Kuan Yin. Those are the guides that I particularly work with, the ascended masters, the archangels. Like, what is it that's not you? And when we can see the layers and let those go, then the real you is so brilliant. It's this brilliant star right in here. And that's what you are. You're a star. You came from the stars. You're a soul. You have such a big, voluminous beingness that's so otherworldly and that's ready to come out as whatever it is, a parent or a teacher or a scholar or a chef or anything, or a priestess or a healer. And I happen to work with a lot of healers. So that which is not me is what usually is covering up our eternal light. And what we're learning to do is amp that up. And the way that I do that is through energy work, energy attunements, energy activations. And that's what you have the opportunity to experience today. Because what I have found is it's kind of like one of those old-fashioned lanterns, that kerosene lantern. When you amp up the wick, it gets more oil and it gets brighter. Like, it can get exceedingly bright. But if the wick gets smaller and there's not a lot of source, it gets really dim. And that's one of the best ways to look at this work of soul activation is how do I amp up that light that is my shining heart, my desire, my soul's work that wants to be birthed. And how do I do that? And how do I keep it on? And so today we're talking about letting the fuel be your desires. What do you want in order to fuel that? What do you want? It's such a much better model than what I grew up with, which was like, pick away at what doesn't work or what's not, all the blocks. The blocks will take care of themselves a lot more easily when we let the fuel, the source light, your source connection amp up. And it's a literal thing because you're like a battery. And your battery can be fully charged or it can be pretty dim or almost out. And I see that all the time. I work with people to help open them up. So as we're going to move in the next segment into a meditation, first I'm going to kind of like list a few things that you might be aware of that are falling away, especially in this new energy, new earth energy we're in. There are so many. So if any of these things pique you in terms of, oh my gosh, yeah, I need to like dial it down or let that go, then make a little note because there might be a little bit of awareness around that. But what we're talking about is what is anything in your life that's not you? What is anything that's like the essence of not you? Does that strike a chord when I ask that? Are there any lies you've been telling yourself? Like, oh, it's not really that bad. I can just look the other way. Or, oh, I don't really want that, or I couldn't really have that. Those are lies we tell ourselves often. Sometimes even just to make it easier. Like, no, I'll just deal with that later. I'm not really ready. Is there trauma? Is there pain? Is there separation? Is there karma? Are there programs? Those are kind of like lies, programs that keep you running in judgment so often, like thinking you're bad or someone else is wrong or the whole other party is wrong or what have you. A lot of those are programs. Those are all kinds of structures of our ego, of our alter self that keep us, in fact, safe in a way. They try to keep us safe, but so often they keep us looking towards the easy or towards the good enough instead of towards the miracles, towards the amazing. So if any of those things have started to strike you, make a note because we're going to offer a sacred offering to let those go. And for me, I found that those are many layers, but you can make it really, really big. Like, please, self, spirit, God, whatever you want to call it, I just give up anything that's not me. Now, if you're that brave, you can be. Get ready because you'll have some experiences that lead you into a whole new place. And hopefully it'll be pretty easy, but it might show you some things. So this is all just a way to look at how do I get to that true authentic self, and that is the revolution. And it's all about daring to be yourself. So with that spirit in mind, we're also going to be bringing in the energy of the platypus. This is so funny, but recently when I was doing this work, the energy of the platypus came to me spiritually, like psychically in my awareness. And I don't know anything about the duck-billed platypus, except it's a cute little funny animal. But what they stand for is daring to be yourself. So if you're in search of that more, that is totally, truly you, you might bring in or adopt the platypus as a spirit guide for a little while. I mean, think about how funny and like they look so fascinating, and they just got to be them. Lots of animals are like that. But the platypus brings us this awareness that be yourself, dare to be yourself, no matter what other people think. They say you must always express who you are if you want to be true to yourself, and without hesitation. So what's your flavor of that? And Platypus Spirit also says, don't worry, your true friends will allow for that, will accept that, will support you in that, because they're going to love you no matter what. So dare to be yourself. There's so many messages about this these days and books. We're going to take it really to a personal level, internally, energetically, in a few moments, and really go there to help you unwind from any programs you're experiencing or systems or things like that. So if you'd like to receive that and be guided, that's what I'll be doing in the meditation. So we're going to go to a short break, and when we come back, I will be guiding you through a beautiful internal springing forward meditation. We'll be right back.
Are you feeling lost or unmotivated, stuck and not sure what to do next? David George Brooke has exactly what you need on That Gratitude Guy podcast. David George Brooke is a speaker, best-selling author, and life coach here to share stories of motivation and inspiration to help you get unstuck and achieve great things by living with gratitude. Live every first and third Friday at 12:30 Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Pat. Hey, are you loving Shades of Spirit Radio? Well, mark your calendars. Shades of Spirit goes live in a new time spot every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific time on TransformationTalkRadio.com. What? Yeah, you heard that right. Psychic Medium Jamie and Spirit Walker Nicole, 5 p.m. every Wednesday. Live readings, giveaways, oracle cards, and lots of fun. So be there. Call into the show at 1-800-930-2819 and visit shadesofspirit.com.
Your inspiration all day on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Imagine you are a ball of steel, smooth, small, and cool to the touch. Your life will soften you with fire. You will take hits that shape you. You will be forged into a powerful, purposeful work of art. Tune in to Forging a Life with Coach Christine Clark, joining Dr. Pat Basile in a 3-part series, Truths in the Creation of Katana, on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Christine Clark, a gifted, engaging speaker and trainer who has forged her life in the fires of self-employment, will take you on a journey to exploring the internal, mental, and emotional blocks that stand between us and a life of significance through an analogy of the process of crafting a traditional Japanese sword, or katana. For more information about Christine, visit sunglowtransformation.com.
Ascending with the Arcturians with Vivian Chouvette. Tune in to Transformation Talk Radio every second and fourth Fridays at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We are shifting from this third dimensional plane of reality to higher octaves of life. Let us reclaim our sovereignty as a united family of light and manifest the planetary ascension, our return to Prime Creator. For information on our services and to connect with Vivian, visit infinitehealingfromthestars.com.
Hi, friends. Welcome back to Soul Activation Podcast with Suzanne Alexandria. It's so nice to have you. I saw that we have a listener chiming in, Leslie Levinson. Thank you so much. I would love to chat with you, so we can connect after this, or you can send me a message on Facebook. I'm on Facebook at Suze Alexandria Healer, or my website is SuzanneAlexandria.com. And I do offer free phone calls too. If you're curious about how we might work together, I do one-on-ones, deep Akashic Records readings, energy attunements, energy activations. I teach Reiki, and I teach a program for healers and intuitives called Wings of Isis. That is a beautiful 8-month program that really helps clients open and activate to their gifts. And so if any of that's of interest, I love to chat and get to know each other. You can sign up for a free 15-minute or 20-minute phone call, and we can talk about what you're looking for, and you'll know if we're a good match. That's the best way to do that. So reach out anytime at SuzanneAlexandria.com. But I'll reach out to you too, Leslie. So we're coming up to do a lovely guided meditation. One of the things that I do in my private groups is help guide people as a guide with spirit into that realm of you. So I'm always really cognizant to say, it's me assisting you, but at this point in our lives and our evolution, it's time that we all start owning ourselves. And that's one of the biggest things that we're up against. We've been controlled by people, by paradigms, by governments, by lots of forces. And it's a time that we own ourselves. That's sovereignty, that we claim our sovereignty. And that's what the ascended masters and the archangels are always whispering and showing us, like, hey, you got this. What do you want? You are designed to be this miraculous conduit of spirit in whatever form it is. You already are like that. How do you want to let your source flow? How do you want to be you? And so I always just really emphasize that as much as I and the guides are helping, it's really all about you opening your heart, allowing your crown, allowing your chakras to open so that you can be and express. So I just preface that when I do these guided meditations that I'm going to take you through, because it's super important to own our sovereignty. I even have a crown necklace I'm not wearing today, but I often have to remember, okay, I am sovereign. I'm the owner of this life. And what do I want? What am I going to dare to create? So with that, let us drop in. And we're going to be working with Archangel energy, with Archangel Metatron and Raphael and Michael. But we're also going to be working with Isis, Ascended Master Isis. And so we've got a beautiful mix of divine, sacred divine, masculine and feminine, supporting this transmission and supporting your state of personal sovereignty, personal openness, so that you can plant more seeds. Because this isn't the first time you've done this, but plant more seeds or plant bigger seeds of your own revolution. What do you want? So if you're not driving, if you're in a place where you can close your eyes, I would invite you to close your eyes and start to drop in. We're going to first be guiding you to bring through earth and heaven energies to align you. Because at the time of this recording, we've just passed the spring equinox, and it's a time of beautiful alignment. So even that energy is going to stay with this magical recording. It's so magical how energy comes through a recording. So no matter when it is, you'll be transported to the portal in time. That's the equinox, which is when the world stops and starts to rotate in the other direction. And it literally, boom, it helps us align. So dropping into yourself, take a few breaths into your belly. And if you'd like, imagine two strong pillars on either side of you, down the right side and the left side, pillars of blue light that hold your energy field stable. Like you're standing or sitting by these solid pillars, ancient pillars. The blue light is from the Archangel realm with Archangel Michael. And it's beautiful vibratory light that helps you align your I am presence. And that's going to help you align your heart chakra and all of your chakras. So this gorgeous blue light from heaven descends, and it's running down the right side and the left side, and it goes down into the earth, and it's just creating stability, like a root system for you. And let yourself anchor down. And then imagine similarly deep blue roots from your feet. These are your roots from your I am presence down into the earth, and let your own roots start to vibrate and move and shift and reach down and connect with the center of the earth, the very heart of Gaia. And that's appearing as a beautiful blue ball as well. So we've got this deep blue, it's like lapis lazuli that centers and that helps you connect with your I am presence. And if it's been a while since you've done anything like this, what happens is that it starts to help you resurrect your own I am connection, your own source connection. So allow that connection from your feet down through the center of the earth and even wrap around that crystalline ball of light in the center of the earth. And let that start to be felt or perceived, because this blue light then is going to surround you like a pillar all around you, almost like a cylinder. And the archangel realm is here to help you attune to your truest desires. They want nothing more than for you to be connected with your truest heart desires. I mean, isn't that what true love is? Isn't that what we imagine God wants of us, Spirit wants of us? What is it that you want? Let yourself open to that. And wherever you are, if you're in your home or office or a room, they will place this beautiful crystalline white light, kind of like a framework in your space, because we want you to feel super safe. This is a hallowed experience of connecting with yourself, just you and God, you and Spirit. So this space around you becomes transformed into a blanket of security, really, like an effervescent white light tunnel, upward and downward, connecting with Mother Gaia and the heavens. So allow yourself, if that's new at all, to experience what that's like, to feel and understand your space can be full of something so heavenly. And it's source light, and you're the channel for that. It's happening because you open your heart. And so imagine there's a door at your heart, and you take one hand and open the door. And the door can be any shape, any way you imagine it. But you're symbolizing your willingness to open up your heart. And there's a light in there that starts to shine out, like a luminescent portal, like a lighthouse, like a spotlight, like a candle. However you visualize it. What's your light like? And with your breath, if you feel like it, if you want it to amp up a little bit, then amp it up a little bit so it shines out even more brightly. And what about if you take a door on the back of your heart and open that as well and let your heart shine out the back of your heart? And let it start to shine around to the sides. Open your heart to the wonder and to your own luminescence. Because this is how you revolve. This is how you create change. And let your body soften. And allow a beautiful pink light of compassion, the Christ light, Kuan Yin's light to surround you like a beautiful, kind of like a pillow, a soft pillow of compassion. The energy of compassion surrounds us always. And does that maybe allow you to soften your body, to soften the edges and surrender a little bit more? And then imagine this beautiful platypus energy. Maybe you can imagine a platypus sitting there by you saying, you gotta be you. And what we're gonna do is invite your higher self, your true self, your source light to start to show you something new or something different, or maybe something deepening. So from this place deep in you, imagine that in front of you there's a garden that's yet to be planted, but it's fertile. It's fertile land. It's fertile. It's the perfect temperature, the perfect consistency, the perfect minerals and all of that for what you want. Imagine that it's already there, and that with your consciousness, you get to plant and visualize and grow what you want. So what's the first thing that comes to you through source, through your source connection, with your third eye open and your crown open? What's the first thing that comes to you that you want to place in this garden? Now, it might be a seed, or it might be something you're already working on. What is it? What is it that you want to nourish there? And then ask yourself, what else? What else can I plant there? And these could be anything. You can really let your imagination take you. They could be a project, or they could be a relationship. They could be a way you want to feel. They could be a new beginning or a healing. Could be anything. What comes to your heart when you open your heart to your truth and you ask in sacred space? What is it? What do I want to plant in this other row, this other level, or next to the other one? And then ask yourself, what else? What else do I want to plant there? Maybe it's beautiful, harmonious relationships in your family. Maybe it's a new job. Maybe it's feeling better when I wake up. What is it? And then allow as many things as you want to plant there. Because if it's really moving, you might be planting a ton of stuff. And that's awesome. And then imagine the light of source and our sun just shining right on that garden and right on your crown, right on your top of your head, and shining over you and your creation. Because you, my friends, are just like plants and every living thing. Like, we grow things, we plant and we nourish and we bring forth life. We all do that. And the light of source, the light of the sun shines on it. So imagine it just shining. And then what you're going to do is connect with your source flow like a beautiful sprinkler system, and let your heart start to nourish with beautiful waters that garden, because that's the co-creation, that you bring your focus to these things. And also spirit helps us. The sun is here, the earth is here. But with your focus, you're like the sprinkler, watering, giving life, birthing, however you want to look at it. And notice where you're drawn as you nourish, as you bring that water energy to flourish alive what you're planting. Where does it want to focus a little bit more? Where does it say, oh, it's enough there. It's satiated. That project is going well. And what I would invite you to do is take this whole visual when you have a moment, either now or later, and write it down. If you've gotten some inspiration, maybe on a note card, maybe on one piece of paper, even do it visually, like this is what my garden is. Because I cannot emphasize more the power of putting our thoughts and our dreams and our desires like this that come from a sacred place onto paper. Because then we remember it and then we focus on it. And if you take that paper and place it somewhere, if you've got an altar or your bedstand or your desk or the wall somewhere or the mirror, place it somewhere because that's going to remind you. And one of the biggest things to do is to remind ourselves to focus. Now, sometimes that's just with meditation or prayer or thinking like this, dreaming about it. And sometimes there's action because spirit meets us in action. And so what is it that will be needed? That depends on what you're asking for. But if you keep your focus, you stay in alignment with your desires, you create them. They get birthed. They get attention. They get thought. They get time. You know, some of these things take a lot of time to bring. It doesn't magically appear, but it'll magically happen when you focus on it. And so spirit, in fact, it's funny because this is the energy of Yeshua with us that says, how is that going to happen? You might even have some thoughts about how it's going to happen with conscious planning, like in your calendar. And it's really funny because there's a song going off nearby that I don't have control of. So I apologize for that. But what is it that's going to help you consciously bring that into life? That's the question. So if you're getting any intuition about that, you know, like I really should set aside 30 minutes a day on that. Or I should do that once a week, or I should call this person, or I should arrange an appointment, or I should take a class that would help me do that. Or I need to bring in help. You know, there's so many ways we birth our realities. And so often we get tripped up with those details, but that need not be the case. Let your heart light guide you. Let yourself be guided. And so with that, let's just tune in and see if there's anything else. Imagine, okay, Spirit is showing me, imagine the garden that's in this beautiful atrium. So it's protected. It's like a beautiful glass with golden connectors, pure gold connectors. I love it. And it's going to get just the right amount of water, the right amount of sun, keep the snow off, keep the, animals out. And it's bounded, and it's going to have all the support it needs. And coming back to this as much or little as you like will invariably allow you to focus more or less. And so focus is one of the big messages. When you focus on the sea change within you, you get results. And that I know for sure. So with that, we're going to close down. Well, we'll keep the energy open for you all, but we're going to go to a quick break, and you can feel free to sit in this energy of your creation, and I'll come back and we'll do a little closure. But I thank you for being in this space with the angel realm to help birth this co-creation. So we'll be back shortly after the break. Thank you so much.
everybody. This is Psychic Medium Jamie, and boy, do I have a gift for you to help you get through March Madness. You've all said you're tired of jumping through hoops. So for the month of March, my gift to all of you is my full-hour sessions are now half off. Psychic readings, oracle card readings, connect with your loved ones, and gain spiritual guidance from your spirit team. So get ready to step in and move from March Madness to March Manifestation together. Book at shadesofspirit.com or call me at 858-684-7575.
Are you trying to lose weight, but feel guilty for eating your favorite foods? Feeling deprived and resentful makes for results that aren't sustainable. Join Adrienne Craig every second and fourth Friday at 12 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com for her show, Master Your Mindset for a Weight Loss Breakthrough. Learn to love the journey and watch yourself succeed. For more information about Adrienne or to work with her personally, visit lifecanyon.com.
Angels are among us, and they are communicating with us all the time. Most of the time, we are so distracted that we don't recognize the signs or even know that the angels are just waiting for us to ask for help. If you're looking for a clear channel to connect you to the angels, look no further. Chris Gibbs is an angel intuitive and does angelic readings and consultations. The angels speak to her quickly, giving her a clear and distinct narrative and dialogue that is direct and on point. Chris cares about her clients, and it shows through her work. She has been a teacher of metaphysics for over 30 years. She is truly gifted. Contact Chris to help you address your soul purpose or whatever is important to you right now. You can reach Chris at 719-362-6935 by email at greatteach9@gmail.com, or you can go to her website, angelreadingsbychris.com. That's angelreadingsbychris, KRIS.com. You will not regret the guidance you are given.
It's time to get your life back on Burn Bright Today with Jennifer Marcinelli. Tune in each month on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Learn to move from the darkness of burning out to the light of burning bright. Jennifer is redefining stress and the energetic causes of burnout, shining a light on process to get your life back. For more information about Jennifer and her work, visit burnbrighttoday.com.
Healing has a ripple effect. One person's healing affects everyone around them. This is where the power of sharing our stories can be so important. Tune in to Playing on the Edge Radio with Megan Edge each month on Transformation Talk Radio, as Megan provides you with ways of sustaining radical and powerful changes in your life. Enact the power of radical change. To find out more about Megan Edge, visit her website at meganedge.ca.
Hi, friends. Welcome back to Transformation Talk Radio. I just led everyone through a little guided meditation with Spirit, and I was just chuckling at the end because my phone, even though it's on silent, randomly rings, and I can't figure out why. But I think maybe it was all divine, right? It's the song "Baby, You're a Firework," and that's so perfect for this whole transmission about this podcast about igniting your internal flame and igniting your soul. So there we go. Little humor on a Monday afternoon. I really thank you all for joining. And if you're curious about more of this kind of expansion work, or really going into your own soul and understanding who you are in whatever way, then I would love to talk to you. I do teach a number of courses, and I do one-on-one sessions in the Akashic Records and with divine guidance from your angelic team. I also teach most of my clients who are interested in learning how to do that themselves. So I help people connect with their own teams and open up their channels, because everyone is wired to be intuitive. It's just that we all have different ways that we're wired. And that's the fun of it, but also sometimes the nerve-wracking part. But if you're interested in taking things to a new level, or really, going within to connect up there and to get clear about your source connection, then please reach out. I'm at SuzanneAlexandria.com. And I also teach a program for healers and intuitives, an in-depth 8-month academy called Wings of Isis, with the Ascended Masters, the Divine Feminine. And it's very much about turning on our feminine, our divine feminine intuition, whether you're male or female. We all have that. And it's been rather latent or dormant for a lot of people for, frankly, thousands of years. And so we're helping open you to the mysteries of yourself and your gifts, the healing arts, traveling in the Akashic records, understanding who you are from that perspective, and really what to do. What do you want to do with that? Because that's the theme of this podcast. What do I want to do with this one amazing life? What seeds do I plant? So I hope that it's been instrumental and helpful to plant some new seeds today. It's springtime right now when we're recording. And I'd love to hear from any listeners. Please message me on Facebook at Suzanne Alexandria or at my website, SuzanneAlexandria.com. I'm here every second and fourth Monday at 3 p.m. Mountain Time, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. And I send just a big heart full of light. Keep that heart light on, keep it out there and open, and keep your channel open. It's an open channel that's yours to explore. And that's what we are all about. And then what do you do with it? Because that is where it gets really fun. So thank you for listening, and I will see you on the next show. To me, this path of healing and enlightenment is this immaculate process of finding all the parts of us that have been lost and hidden and even taken, and then very masterfully and lovingly recombining ourselves, coming into our true self, and then all of a sudden realizing, oh my gosh, I'm home. Thank you for listening to Soul Activation Podcast. For more information about me, visit SuzanneAlexandria.com. Tune in every second and fourth Monday, 2 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern at TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Views expressed on this program are those of the host, guests, and callers, and do not necessarily reflect the views of the station, its management, or advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.